Your formula is I equals PRT. The only time you have to memorize a formula if it's on the MAPS test, because they won't give you a formula chart on the MAPS test. This formula will be on your formula chart for the STAR test. And then I also have it written right here on the board. Okay, we're doing simple today and tomorrow. Monday and Tuesday we'll do compound. Next, Wednesday and Thursday, we'll combine them. Okay? So then you'll really have to pay attention to what are they asking me for. So in the formula, the I stands for the interest. So that's the money you're going to earn. Principal, your P, is the initial amount. That's your starting amount. That's how much you're going to start with. Okay? The rate is always over 100. It's your percent. And your T is time in years. Now, if they tell you in months, you are going to want to put it over 12. Okay? So if they tell you 72 months, you would put 72 over 12. Got it? Okay. And when you're getting an answer for interest or principal, you'll always round that to the nearest decimal. Because we're talking about money there. So, let's go ahead and look at number 1. We know we're talking about simple interest, so the first thing you're going to do is you are going to write your formula. That is a non-negotiable. You must write your formula. Now, we see that we deposited $600. That's your initial starting fee, or starting amount. So that would be 600 in your P. I always set mine up like this because I know my rate has to go over 100. Your percent has to go over 100. Then it says 30 years. I put that in my T, and it's already in here, so I'm good to go. Then we have our percent is 2. So since this is just a nice, normal problem, we're going to go to our normal calculator. Nothing hard. And we are going to put in 600 times alpha y equal, hit 1, 2 over 100 times 30. And how much interest are you going to earn in 30 years? $360. Now, in 30 years, if you go to the bank and say, I want to withdraw my money, you would be very upset if they just handed you $360. Because, didn't you start with 600? So, total value in your account, you have to take the principal, the amount you started with. You have to add your interest, and you are correct. It's going to give you $960. So you're going to have to read the question. Are they wanting you to get the interest, or are they wanting you to get the total value? That's going to be more tomorrow's stuff. So you're just going to have to, and I promise you, if it's multiple choice, they're going to have this answer, even if they're asking you for the total value. Because I know some kids aren't going to read anything but simple interest and go, oh, I just need to find the interest and be done with it. Got it? Number 2. I equals P RT. We have a $4,100 deposit. That's my principal. That's my starting amount. Ooh, look at the next info. 72 months. I have to put it over 12 in my time. The reason I have to do that is because it's in months. And then my simple interest rate is 3.4. So once you have your equation written down, you can then go to your calculator. And the first thing we will find is our interest. And how much interest did you earn? $836.40. Did you put a plus sign in one of those? I was fixing that once I walked away. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This is Miss Coles. Uh-huh. Yes, but she is next door right now. This is her 5th period. She has a classes period. The rest of the day. Uh-huh. Okay. So now we have to get our total that we want to get from the bank. So we would take 4,100 and we would add our interest of $836.40. And so how much would the bank have to pay us? $4,936.40. Perfect. Okay. Our formula, we must always write. We are going to make a $1,250 deposit for 10 years. It's in years, so I'm good to go with just 10. At a simple interest rate of 5.25. Okay, how much interest are we going to earn? Good, $656.25. We then have $1,250 that we started with, plus our $656.25. Perfect, $1,906.25. So they can ask it that way, and they might say interest or they might say total. Okay, so you have to read what it's asking. Now we're going to switch down and see why we've been working equations first. So let's look at number 4. Let's go ahead and write our formula so we're ready. I personally also like to do this. So then I'm really ready. As I'm reading, I can just plug it in. Don't go ahead of me on this one. I know some of y'all think y'all are ready, but wait a minute. Patel made a deposit into an account that earns 5% simple interest. Where am I going to put that 5%? Over 100. Good. After 10 years, that will go in my T for time. Patel had earned $1,500 in interest. Where am I going to put that $1,500? In the I. The question says, what is the initial deposit? That means I'm missing my P. So now I'm going to work what I can. So on the right hand side, pick up your calculator. Do alpha y equal 5 over 100 times 10. 1/2. So you're going to put that in front of your x. Now look, it's an equation. It's a fraction, so I flip it. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So, did you need to do alpha y equals 2 over 1? Could you? Yes. And what is 2 times 1,500? $3,000 was your starting amount. So do we see how those are going to work? Okay? So let's do this one. Now you got, so they can ask you one like that. Now look at this one. We know our formula is simple interest. I just like to have it ready like that. So as I read, I can plug it in. Mandy deposited $600 into her account. Where's that going to go?
The P.
In the P, because that's her initial starting amount. After 4 years,
Time.
now her total value in her account was $672. Where would I put that? Does I mean total value?
No.
It means interest.
It means interest. How do I find my interest if I know my total value?
Subtract.
You subtract. Good, because a minute ago, didn't I have my interest? And I had my principal and I
72.
added.
And that means 72.
So I'm going to take 672, which is my value. I'm going to subtract 600. And yes, y'all are correct. I get 72. Guess what I'm missing here? My rate. Now watch how I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to take my x and throw it to the side and put a 1 in place of it. So a 1 over 100, throw your x to the side, times 4. Now, I'm going to do what I can on that right-hand side. So pick up your calculator. We're going to ignore the x. Do 600 times alpha y equal, so this is all the work that is expected. It's a non-negotiable. 600 times alpha y equal 1 over 100, ignore the x, times 4. 24. And throw the x beside it. So do you see I just used the numbers and ignored the x? Now look what I have. What do I do? Divide both sides by 24. So anytime you're missing your P, R, or T, that's what you're going to do. And what is your x?
3.
Perfecto. I told you, simple interest is pretty simple. Okay, get out your notes, Merle. We are on page 9. Thank you for those of you who had it out, because that was written on the board and it was also in your you will need supplies. You are going to take that and you are going to fold it in half and you are going to glue it. After you've glued it, you're going to go to your assignments in Schoology. And this is where you'll show your work on your paper. Oh, this is mine. So as you see, you're gonna write your formula in all of the 8. And I might have to add you to the class. Okay, so listen to me, every single problem on your paper, you have to have I equals PRT. Non-negotiable. Write your numbers in, then work it out. Does everyone see that cute little put answers here? Does everyone see put answers here? Yes. You are going to put your answers in that Google form once you finish. Some of you didn't do that yesterday, so when you look at your grades and you're missing yesterday's, you'll know why. And I have your papers and you can go get them and you can retype them in, because I don't throw anything away. Okay? Once you finish this, you can turn your paper into the basket. And then you can work on any missing work. To see your missing work, you're going to have to hit classes. If you just click on the little math thing, it's not working.